Hey guys, my name is Crystal Robinette. I am here today to share with you a little bit about my oily journey. I have been married to my husband Wesley for 5 years this coming December. I have a 3-year-old named Paul and a 20-month-old named Molly. I am here to share a little bit about my journey with essential oils and my toxic-free lifestyle. It all began about 12 years ago. I had been having some pretty severe migraines, and they were reoccurring. They would last 24, 48 hours at a time. It made it hard to eat or sleep. I was taking off work in order to lay in bed all day with the lights off and avoiding any smells or sounds because those would just exacerbate the headache. Out of a recommendation for a friend, I went to see a chiropractor, and upon an x-ray of my spine, they discovered that I had severe scoliosis in my spine. It was shaped like an S. It is not supposed to be shaped like an S. The curve in your neck, which is called the arc point of life, it was severely compacted, almost straight instead of curved the way it was supposed to be, and those were a source of my migraines. And I spent a 2-year period going to see this chiropractor between 3 to 1 time a week, and eventually corrected the scoliosis in my spine. While I was visiting him, he strongly suggested detoxifying our bodies through nutrition and products that we were using. And at that time, I just thought chiropractic was crunchy enough. Little did I know my journey would continue from there. The next 2 years I spent living overseas, and before I'd left, I'd lost 65 pounds of weight because I was overweight. And I was doing a great job. But in the 2 years I was overseas, I slowly started gaining some of that back, and I attributed it to the fact I was living in Italy and eating some of the best pasta, and that I would just get it off when I got home. And when I got home, I started working out. I started watching what I was eating, and still the weight wasn't going away. The weight was coming back, and it was coming back with friends. So that's kind of how I joke of I ended up heavier than I was before I lost the weight. About 3 years after being back, I got married to my husband. And in the first couple months of our marriage, I gained 3 cup sizes. And that's just not normal for a woman who is in her early 30s and not experiencing the hormone shift of being a teenager. And so I went to my doctor and got referred to an endocrinologist. The endocrinologist took a look at my blood work and basically told me that I was extremely estrogen dominant, and that my body, as a response to being estrogen dominant, had started to accumulate fat to spread out the concentration of the estrogen. And until I got rid of the excess estrogen, my body would not want to lose the excess weight in my bust and over my whole body. And we started it was supposed to be a 1-month kind of a detox process to help rid my body of that estrogen instead of just spreading it out. However, as stories often go, they don't go always as planned, and the detox process made my body extremely fertile, and I ended up pregnant with my husband. We ended up with a son 10 months later. In pregnancy, detox and pregnancy just really don't go together, so I had to kind of give up detoxing my body nutritionally of this excess estrogen. My doctor's recommendation at that point was to really watch what chemicals were in my home, what products I was putting on my body, and make sure that they did not have chemicals that were attributed to endocrine disruption, i.e. your hormones. And so that was the step I could take while I was pregnant, and I did. I switched originally to another multi-level marketing company than the one I am with currently, to buy products that were non-toxic, that passed an app I use to kind of gauge toxicity of products. They're really good at taking things like parabens, sodium lauryl sulfates, and other things, and posting what ingredients are in those products and giving them a rate on a scale of 1 to 10 on toxicity. And this company had good results with their products, and so I started buying their products for cleaning, some of their skincare and body care products as well. But within the first couple of months of me using them, and I'm building trust into this company, they switch ownership. The person who started the company, that had the passion and the drive for keeping things non-toxic, sold out to a major corporation. And I have a lack of trust in major corporations. The more I research into my products that I've trusted my whole life, and the more I find toxic chemicals in them, the less trustworthy I am of organizations that try and hide those things. So I wasn't thrilled about this. About the same time, my son's now born and I'm breastfeeding. I made the choice to breastfeed for a year with my son. At the end of that year period, I got pregnant with my daughter, so I'm still having to watch my hormones, but I still can't do the nutritional cleanse because I'm pregnant and breastfeeding, and those affect my hormones, and dieting and nutrition to affect my hormones don't really go hand in hand when I'm trying to support the life inside of me. That was the main priority. And the life that's growing because of the breast milk I'm producing. Those were the main priorities. So at the end of this period, I'm breastfeeding my daughter, so my second child. And my sister-in-law has signed up with Young Living, has invited me to her first party. And being the supportive sister-in-law, I go, and I'm very thankful, Ashley, that you invited me. We get along tremendously, mind you. And so it was just an opportunity to hang out. But while I was there, I got to hear about the essential oils that Young Living sells in their starter kit, but I also got to hear about their other products and how I could use those to support this non-toxic, natural living lifestyle that I've been wanting to promote in my life to help balance my hormones. And I found a great solution for my problem in terms of they have body care products, they have nutritional products, they have supplements and vitamins, they have oils that I can use to replace medicines when it's not necessary for me to go to a doctor and be on another antibiotic or something like that that's going to further increase these hormone disruptions in my body. But my hope is that by switching now, as my kids are young, and switching for myself, that not only will my health be impacted and my hormones be balanced, but that my kids never have to experience the frustration of a hormone imbalance and what that can mean for their life. I hope that my daughter never has to look at me while struggling with infertility and saying, "Mom, if you know, why didn't you change something?" These are the reasons why it's really important for me to watch what we put in our household. And as the gatekeeper to my house, I want to do everything I can to do replacement buying. Sorry, didn't mean to cry here. Replacement buying so that I can watch what it is that my kids are exposed to. That when they're working on the floors, I'm using non-toxic cleaners that are going to help them and not hurt them. Whether inadvertently or not, I want to make sure I do the best that I can and educate myself in a way that I can do that for them. And if you're interested in trying to start a natural lifestyle for you and your family, so that my story doesn't have to be your story, that you don't have to struggle with hormone imbalances because of the chemicals in your products, please contact me, reach out. I'll be glad to share with you more about my journey in depth and also help you get started on yours. I hope this helps you understand a little bit more about why I'm using Young Living and helps you understand that this can be a part of your story too. All right, thanks. Bye.